Yeah. Yeah. What up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. We diving in. So you think a shot can solve your weight loss struggles? What if I told you the truth might leave you shocked and even concerned for those who need it the most? Let's dive in, guys. Let's dive in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in to Mike Manifestations Podcast, guys. I'm your host, Ben. So let's think about this, guys. Picture this. You're sitting in your doctor's office talking about your health. Maybe your weight has been a struggle for years. Maybe you've tried every diet, every workout plan, and nothing sticks. Your doctor mentions a medication that could finally make a difference. A game changer, right? You feel a spark of hope, and then you're like, but then he says, then you hear the catch. It's expensive. Your insurance may not cover it. And to make things matters worse, people who don't need it for their health are snatching it up to drop a few pounds for their Instagram photos. TikTok. Sound familiar? So today, guys, we're diving into the controversial surrounding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic and Wegovy. These drugs were designed to help people with diabetes, but they're exploding in popularity for weight loss. If you ever wondered, why can't I get the help I need while others are misusing it? You're not alone. Let's talk about it. So what's the big deal about these medications? What's the big hype? Why is everybody getting on them? Well, let's start with the basics, guys. Ozempic and Wegovy belong to a class of medications called GLP-1 receptors agonists. That's a fancy word or fancy way of saying, they mimic a hormone that helps regulate blood sugar, slows down digestion, and makes you feel full. Originally, these drugs were developed to treat type 2 diabetes, but during clinical trials, researchers noticed that, something incredible. Patients were losing significant amounts of weight. Fast forward to today, these medications are being hailed as a breakthrough for weight loss management, but here's the thing. They're not magic pills, doesn't happen overnight. They come with side effects, nausea, vomiting, even potential long-term risks, we don't fully, understand yet. And another thing, they're expensive as F. We're talking about, $1,000 or more in a month, without insurance. Even with insurance, coverage can be spotty, despite all that, demand has skyrocketed, and it's not just people with medical conditions using them. Celebrities, influencers, and even everyday folks are getting prescribed, to shed a few pounds. And that's where things get complicated, so why is it so hard to get these medications? I'm gonna let you know. But yeah, let's talk about access. It's just the whole thing of accessing these medications. If you ever try to get a prescription, for these medications, the barriers are real, bro. First, cost, for many people, $1,000 a month might as well be $1 million, And even if you have insurance, there's no guarantee it'll cover these medications. Some insurers argue that obesity is a lifestyle issue, not a medical condition, an outdated and frankly harmful perspective, which, it is, bro. People need help. Second, it's the stigma. Let's be honest, obesity is one of the most judged and misunderstood health conditions out there. How many times have you heard someone say, just eat less and exercise more? It's not that simple. Obesity is a complex disease, influenced by genetics, by your environment, and biology, but that stigma, trickles down into the medical care. Some doctors are hesitant to prescribe weight loss medications, thinking their patients, should just try harder. You're like, this lazy mother effer over here, put a little more effort, and you'll lose the weight, and then there's the supply issue. These drugs are in high demand, and shortages are a real problem. Imagine needing a medication to manage your diabetes, only to find out it's unavailable because someone else is using it to fit into their smaller dress. It's infuriating, right? I had that happen this time. I went to fill my prescription. For those that don't know or do know, I am on Ozempic as well, but because I'm type 2 diabetic, and I was informed it was out of stock and I needed to be ordered. Good thing I still have like a week or two supply, till my prescription, is ordered and it comes in and everything else. So I'm straight, but what if you were completely out of it? You gotta wait. Unfortunately, there's no other option, and a lot of this comes, the role of social media and the misuse of these drugs, these medications and so forth. Now, we can't ignore the role of social media and all this. Every time I scroll through Instagram or TikTok, it feels like someone's talking about Ozempic or Wegovy, the Ozempic challenge and Wegovy challenges, and, celebrities and influencers, they're showing off their weight loss transformations, and it's creating this perception that these drugs are an ultimate quick fix, which they're not, but what they don't show you are the side effects, or the fact that, these medications aren't designed for casual weight loss. They're meant for people with serious health conditions like diabetes or obesity. Think about it. How many people do you know who jumped on that fad diet or taking shortcuts to lose weight only to gain it all back? And I'm not talking about crack either. But yeah, medications like these, they're not a magic wand, and the misuse of it, it's making it harder for those who actually need them to get access. It's a vicious cycle, and it's hurting the people who, the people that these drugs are designed for, designed to help, with their blood sugar, with their A1Cs, with, their weight loss, and stuff like that, But, let's look at the bigger picture, healthy quality, and systemic issues, let's zoom out for a minute, and take a look at the big picture. Why is it that some people, face so many barriers, to access these medications, while others are, seem to get them, so easily? It's like, go to the doctor, okay, yeah, let me get you on that Ozempic or on that Wegovy, and it comes down to health, health equity, or the lack of it. Low income communities, which often, have higher rates of obesity, are likely to have access to these treatments. Why? Because they're losing, they're less likely to have good insurance, and even if they do, they may not be able to afford the out-of-pocket cost, which, in some cases, that out-of-pocket cost is a lot, Then there's, implicit, bias in the medicine. Studies have shown that doctors are less likely to prescribe, weight loss medications to patients of certain races or, socioeconomic backgrounds, Instead, they might assume, those patients aren't motivated to improve their health, which could be further from the truth, And one big thing, is that obesity isn't just about personal responsibility. It's about systematic issues, food, food deserts, lack of access to healthcare, and even stress from economic hardships, all play a role, until we address these root causes. Medications like Ozempic and Wegovy will remain out of reach, for the people who actually need them most, but so let's talk about what needs to change. A lot of this needs to change so we can get access and, and so forth. So how do we fix this? How do we make sure that these medications are accessible to the people who truly need them? Couple ideas, first, we need better insurance coverage. Obesity is a chronic disease, and treatments for it should be covered just like treatments for diabetes or hypertension, Excuse me. Second, we need to fight that stigma around obesity, that starts with, education, helping people understand that obesity isn't a character flaw. It's a medical condition, nothing to do with yourself. It's just, it's plain and simple. It's a medical condition. A lot of people don't see it that way. Third, we need more, regulation to prioritize access for people with medical necessities. This could mean, excuse me, tighter guidelines, on who can prescribe and use these medications. And finally, we need to address the root causes of obesity, things like, food insecurity, lack of access to healthcare, and systematic inequality. Medications like Ozempic and Wegovy are tools, but they're not the whole solution. It may seem like a simple fix and stuff, but in the long run, it's not. So with all that, let's bring it home now. Medications like Ozempic and Wegovy, they have the potential to change lives, but only if we address the barriers to access and the misuse that creates so many challenges. If you're struggling to get these medications or feel like the system isn't working for you, know that you're not alone. And if you've used these medications, I'd love to hear your experience. Let's keep this conversation going, because everyone deserves a chance to improve their health, whether it's, shedding a few pounds, taking, just even, 5, 10, 15 pounds, people need that, people got bad legs, bad knees, and all that comes from being obese, obesity, that 10, 15 pounds less on your body is going to be less strain on your legs and your knees and your joints and everything else, So, we gotta, as a community, we gotta come together and do our part, do what we gotta do, on our part and so forth. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a struggle, I've been, diabetic, type 2 diabetic for going maybe 5 years or so, 5 years, 6 years, and just using the, the general stuff that they prescribe for you, the metformin, the Januvia, what other, and then I was on the insulin pen before, and that's pretty much what these are. It's just they provide that hormone, that insulin to create, insulin in your body, because your body doesn't make enough insulin, to for that. So so like I said, it's just a lot of it goes on in the background and stuff that people are not aware of, but do your research. I'm not a medical professional, so definitely seek advice from your healthcare providers, and work out a plan with them and figure out what's best for you. What's going to work for you, what has been working for you, and what can work for you. And don't be afraid to go to your doctor and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that, what can I do, what are my options, and that's what I had to do. I went to my doctor and I said, hey, I've been on metformin, Januvia, and these diabetic prescriptions. I've been on the insulin and so forth too. For whatever reason, I can't get my A1C down to where it should be, because a lot of people that don't know about diabetics and and so forth, you really got to be cautious. You got to know what's going on with your body and everything else. Just a little quick backstory on me. I not, and this isn't, I don't want to say it's kind of diabetic related, but it's it definitely comes into play as well too, because as some of you, if you're diabetic, that your body and your cuts, infections and stuff like that are a little more prone, and they can be fatal at times. So yeah, and it hits people harder with diabetes when they have to go to the hospital, or they got to be when they got to go into the emergency room and stuff like that for surgeries and stuff like that too. They're a little more prone to bad stuff happening. So like I said, not too long ago, I want to say maybe and excuse me because I'm fucking horrible with dates. But yeah, I mean, I want to say it's been maybe about 2 years or so, give or take. I had my knee I'd gotten an infection in my knee for whatever reason, and I don't know. To this day, we still don't know why. But I had to be taken to the emergency. Had surgery the following day for on my knee, and and they told me, good thing you came in when you did, because a day or two after, it possibly would have been fatal. I had a torn meniscus, and and it got infected. So that with that, I mean, especially like I said, being diabetic, your immune system isn't as strong as someone that isn't. So you're a little more prone to worse or bad stuff happening to your body and so forth like that. It doesn't recover. It doesn't fight against it as a normal person would. Not to say we're special or anything like that, but just facts. But yeah, I mean, when I wasn't taking care of myself, my A1C was through the roof, man. Like, I want to say maybe 13, 14 A1C or so. Now I'm back down to, almost pre-diabetic and so forth. So, huge progress and so forth like that, but it can happen, and that's stuff that you have to look out for, so if you're, like I said, if you're thinking about getting on these medications, like I said, seek professional, seek the advice from your professional medical doctors and so forth, physicians and so forth, and let them know, work out a plan with them, and like I said, don't be scared to ask them. I went to my doctor and I said, hey, I've been on these medications, I've seen these commercials about Ozempic and Wegovy and stuff like that. What do you think? Would it help me? Would it, be the same as what I'm doing now? And they put me on it and they tried it, and little by little, the progression has been going. So, I'm kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say proud of myself, but yeah, I mean, like I said, you gotta talk to your doctors. You gotta, let them know what you're feeling, and if that doctor is not doing what you're expecting or what you think should happen, hey, for those of you that have PPOs and so forth, go to a different doctor, get a second opinion, get different medical advice and so forth. But yeah, with that, guys, I'm gonna leave you with this. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're at over 100 subscribers already now, so I appreciate you guys watching, listening on your different social media platforms and stuff like that. But yeah, so thanks for tuning into this episode, guys, of Mike Manifestations podcast, and let me know, what's your take on this? Have you tried getting a GLP-1 prescription but face barriers? Do you think these medications should be more accessible, or is or is the hype getting out of control? You know, drop your thoughts below. I want to hear your experience. You know, and if you've enjoyed, you know, this conversation, you know, share it with a friend, leave a review, or reach out to me on social media platforms. I'm all available on all those. You know, until next time, guys, take care of yourself, and remember, you're worth the fight for better health. We out. Peace, guys. Catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Mike Manifestations Podcast, guys. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the videos, guys. To the YouTube channel. Hit me up on the social media platforms, guys. Mike Manifestations. We out. Peace.